I'm sitting this evening with Zinhle. You may have caught on part one of our conversation, and she's talking to us on the changes that she endured in herself mentally, as well as the trauma that she carried because of infidelity. Listen, this is a topic that I'm familiar with all too well. It's a journey that I've walked, and it's something that has brought immense trauma to my personal life. So I'm still, shaking from the discussion that we had. And I'm hoping that this evening I can sort of grasp or put in some sense into how, we can treat our partners so recklessly and still expect that we build something solid in the relationships that we have with them. Let's tune in. And so you find the message, she calls, you speak to her, and you decide at that point that this is it, I'm leaving. Do you file for divorce, or you go for a separation, you still want to think about it, or you were dead set on it, that I've made up my mind now?
Yeah, no, on that day I was dead set. I didn't want, because how many times our family is going to come together and talk, So I was just done. I remember telling him that I'm done. And immediately when I told him that, I know he tried to talk to me. I wasn't hearing anything because your heart drops, right? You're in this emotional state. You're a mess. And he says, you are angry. Just calm down. I'm like, I'm not angry. What I am is done with you. And I call my father-in-law and I tell him, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of this family anymore. And he tells me, you need to drive. Drive home, let's have a conversation, right? And I mean, the following day, we decide to drive in separate cars. He drives his car, I drive my car. We go to his home. When we get there, I get asked why I went through his phone.
Oh, wow.
Because if I go through his phone, I will find what I want to find. And I was like, do you remember that you called me and you said, I must check how many times you called him? That's when I saw the message. And this girl called and she spoke to me. I did not find anything. I did not search his phone, But I think to sum that all up, there was another rejection I got from the family that I'm supposed to run to when there's something happening in my marriage, right? And when they rejected me, I was like, yeah, I think I lost it because I did something that was also out of character where now, I got emotional and I started reacting, in their home. And I think afterwards I realized that you're not allowed to do that in somebody else's home. I went back and I apologized. I was like, I was out of character. I would never on a normal day do this in your home, disrespect your home in that way. I'm sorry. Took my things and I left. But before I left, I remember telling him, let's go home. As much as I was angry, I was like, let's drive home. And he tells me, oh, you're trying to control me, Dad. And I'm like, no. Something's telling me that you and I need to go home. Let's go. I drive home. He tells me he's not coming with me because I'm going to start whatever. And I decided to go home. And yeah, I think the occurrences of rejection also, frustrate you. They build up to your mental well-being, because you're like, okay, where do I go now? Okay, I know at home, my family, my mom, my dad wouldn't reject me, but I mean, I trusted these people, my family trusted these people with my life.
With my life, yes.
And they are the ones that are throwing me out. How? Why? God? You start asking all those questions. But yeah, I was dead set. I was done on that day.
And you shared with me that, a couple of weeks earlier, the Holy Spirit had revealed to you
Yep.
that he was being unfaithful.
Yep. Yeah. So we're sleeping, and while I'm sleeping, he wakes me up and he says, "You are crying. Wake up. What's happening?" When I wake up, there are tears on my pillow, right? And he asks me, what's happening? And I'm like, "You are cheating on me." And he says, "No." I'm like, "The Holy Spirit told me that you're cheating on me. And if you don't stop, you will get an accident, a car accident. You need to stop." "No, I'm not cheating on you." And I'm like, if you're going to lie to me, it's okay. But I think this is your opportunity to come clean, and I'll still forgive you. You know? And you're not apologizing to me. You are apologizing to God. You're repenting, in simpler terms. You know? And he still said, "I'm not cheating." Not even weeks. I think 3 days later, that's when the girl called. The day after that, after we had gone to the family home, he got an accident. And guess what? When he gets the accident, you went and you did something so that he gets an accident. Like, no, I will not
So
take
you
that
still
one.
get accusations
Yeah,
at this
no,
point.
I'm like, I'm not taking that one. That one is yours. You guys can deal with it. Do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not defending it. I'm not doing anything. He knew. I told him, I warned him about it. So you're not going to pin the blame on me. So it became a thing where he was now kept away from me because
You were allegedly a threat.
yeah. So he was moved away. But funny enough, I am the first person he called when he got into that accident. I had to drive at 11:30 at night with a girl child to go and help him wherever he was. But now I'm the same person that caused whatever that happened. But I think my last words to them was, I pray. And I think this is where my tears went. This is to show that I'm not trying to paint this person in a bad light. He's not a bad man. He's a good man with a good heart. But yeah, inyembezi, angithi basho bathi inyembezi azweli phansi. Our tears don't fall to the ground. And this is that. We were warned. We knew about it. But because sometimes we don't listen to the Holy Spirit when it speaks, we think, whatever, you know. So that's what happened there, you know. Yeah. So I took the punches. I was like, you guys, I'll take that. If you guys want to know me, if the last thing you want to know about Zinhle is that Zinhle that caused our son to have an accident, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
And so you filed for divorce?
Yes.
When did you eventually have your proceedings finalized and you are out of each other's lives?
This happened last year, 2022.
That's so fresh.
Yep. Jan. It was Jan, yes. 2022 January. And weird enough, I didn't fall into depression when I left, when all of that happened. And people were like, why are you not depressed? Why are you not this? Why are you not... Because we know how much you adored this person. Why are you not falling apart, you know? I didn't understand it either. But I was like, I feel happier being outside of it than I was when I was inside. Because when I was in it, that's where I got diagnosed with depression. That's when I had to go for mental workshops and mental hospitals. But outside of it, I feel renewed. I feel like a new person. It was lighter. It was refreshing, I won't lie. And I laugh about it now because I think I've cried a lot about it. And I'm at peace at this point, you know? So yeah, it's very recent, and yes, I'm okay. I am okay. I've been receiving the help I need. Been seeing a therapist. That's what I mean by the help I need. But I started seeing a therapist when I was in there, you know, when every single day you're thinking, I want to take my life away, you know?
Hang on.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I want to take my life in terms of having suicidal thoughts?
Yes. Yes. Because
Did you have suicidal thoughts before getting into this marriage with him?
No. It started when I was in the marriage with him. So before I was this bubbly social butterfly, you know, and I really lost myself in there. And because I felt I'm not enough, maybe I must just vanish from this world, you know. And those are the thoughts, you know, not realizing how worthy you are as a person. Yeah, but luckily, you know, it didn't happen. There was no successful attempt, and I'm still here, the social butterfly. Well, struggling still, but slowly trying to get back into finding who Zinhle is, you know. So yeah.
It's interesting for me that even when you make the decision to leave the marriage, you don't necessarily leave the trauma behind. Are you still, and I think you've already said it, you still are struggling now. When you look at a guy and he says, I love you and I want to have I think I can build something with you long term, and you go, I don't think I'm good enough.
Yep. Ooh, touchy.
The trauma that you carried and you endured. Tell me about the mental side of that.
You always look at yourself and think, I'm not good enough. What do you want from me? And I end up, I don't know, I think I've got this thing of self-sabotaging. And I think I've spoken to a couple of women who have gone through the same thing, who feel I'm self-sabotaging myself because I experienced that trauma, you know, that I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. So it is a thing. It is a thing. But yeah. I'm not getting emotional because I'm hurting. I'm getting emotional because it's sad that there are so many women that think they are not good enough. And they are worthy. It's what I said. You are good enough. You deserve to be chosen, you know? But you need to choose yourself, firstly. You need to see that you're important. It doesn't need to be confirmed by a guy. You need to confirm it to yourself. I am good enough. I'm the prize. That's why I said I am the prize.
You know, it's a very interesting perspective that we women have.
Yeah.
And I wonder where it comes from, because majority of us as women are waiting to be chosen.
Yep.
We are standing there and waiting for the day that someone comes and say, I choose to marry you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder, how is it that in this era that we are in, with so much modernization and so much evolution of women, that we still do not have a voice in terms of saying that, I understand that you want to choose me,
Yes.
but I don't choose myself for you.
Yeah. It's so important, actually. I love that you're saying that. I think that's how empowered we need to be as women, that you are allowed to not choose a man because he chose you. You are allowed to have a choice in that, you know? As much as we're all chasing marriage, because we all want to be married, you know, you want to be walking around with the diamond on your...
Should we be chasing marriage?
That's the problem.
Should we?
That is the problem. Yeah. I've got a friend that always says that they teach their children, because, you know, girl children, when they grow up, they play with dolls. I'm going to be a mom, I'm going to be married, I'm going to be that. And this friend says, I teach my kids that I don't want to hear you tell me you want to be a mom, you want to be married. Tell me that you want to have a business. Tell me that you want to be a CEO. Tell me you want to be this, because that is the empowerment that we need our kids, coming generations to have, that don't just wait around to be chosen. Go be a CEO, and then let somebody who's worthy of you come choose you in your CEO position, So it's something that women need to realize and need to work on, that you have a choice. You can also choose. Some even propose these days. They go propose men, but you have a choice.
Is it also not a choice to? Is it? I mean, for me, I think it's also a choice to say I choose not to get married. Yeah.
100%.
Because looking at what one is observing these days, is that there is a growing perception or tendency to glamorize marriage.
Yes.
And there's very little effort put into
marriage.
Staying married, into building a solid foundation of marriage itself.
That's very true. I think it's what I said, Gutsi. We love the idea of wearing a white dress.
It's about the wedding
pretty
day.
And inviting, photographers to come take those gorgeous pictures. But we don't really think about what happens in there. We don't have the conversations we need to have before going in there, I think I've come across a lot of people, I don't know, post my divorce, I've been encountering married people a lot, and it's funny because they come ask me things about marriage. I'm like, I'm not married, so I can't answer that, But it's funny that you realize that people don't have the conversations they need to have, I think they are...
Before, they don't. They don't discuss what kind of married life do I expect to live with you.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, I want a husband who is attentive to me.
Yes.
Who cooks dinner, or we have dinner every night, every evening.
Right.
With our kids. This is how I think we will spend our lives. We'll holiday.
Yes.
Annually.
Yes.
And people just get in, and
and you get the shock of your life in there.
Yes.
You.
Yeah. As long as there's rhythm to the song, we keep dancing.
We keep moving. Yep.
Yeah. We keep moving forward.
No, I think that's what a lot of young people do. I don't know if it's just young or the older generation also went in blindly, but I think it's the idea of walking down the aisle, not understanding that there's finances, there's what you want. Does this person know you? Does this person understand you? Does this person know your expectations, like you said? We don't have those conversations, and those are critical, so that you're not shocked when you get in there. You'll find some people say, fat and set is better so I can get to know you. Now I get where they're coming from. I'm not promoting it, don't get me wrong, but I understand where they're coming from, because I need to understand if you understand me and you know me and you are able to live with me, But yeah, we're not doing fat and set, no.
Let's speak about this expectation to stay married.
Yes.
When I was in my first marriage, it was a very bitter marriage. It didn't start out that way, but it surely took that turn.
Sure.
And to the point when the abuse there started playing itself out. It was my dad who said to me, "You've got to get out."
Sure.
And by then, I was sleeping with the firearm under, in the same covers every night.
Sure.
And at the time, he made sure I knew quite well what will happen to me if I cheat. There had been many allegations of cheating back and forth on both sides. So he would accuse me, I would accuse him.
Okay.
But he always made sure that I knew. If ever he found out that it was true. So there is an expectation, really, that women should stay in this kind of marriages. I think men as well, that, for you to have built a successful marriage is to remain in it.
In it, yep.
Regardless of what the marriage presents. Did you get any support, when you said, this is it for me? Did you get any support, or were you still getting what will people say? Yeah.
Luckily, Shame, my mom was very supportive, because I would call her in the AMs crying a lot during the marriage. And because as a mother, she can't say leave, she'd be like, just do this, or, advise differently. Go see a therapist, here's a number, go here, go there. And when I finally said to her that I'm done, she was like, I support you. Are you sure about that? Is that what you want? And I said, that is what I want. And she asked me, how do you want me to support you?
That's a beautiful question.
Right?
Excellent question.
Right? How do you want me to support you? And I told her my plan. I was like, this is this. Can you please get the uncles to go and say wherever they need to go say that I'm leaving? And she heard. She didn't, there was no struggle. There was no, even from my dad, there was no struggle. Would say, you can't leave, don't leave. But instead, they always try to fix. They always think there's room to fix. But I think even in that, I told them there's nothing to fix, because when there's no love anymore, then there's nothing to fix, So, no shame, I got support. I really, really, really did. And I'm grateful. And I think that's why it was also easy, because I had a couple of people hold my hand through it, Yeah.
Did you ever at any point feel that the marriage you were in posed a risk to your safety? How so?
I think when things are sour, it gets, I won't say violent, because he's never hit me. I don't want to paint him in that light. But for me, it became a thing of, you see, this person sees you as a possession to him, like something he owns, right? So as much as the threats were not direct threats that if you do this, I will, but you feel that because this person is so possessive and he thinks I'm an item that he owns that belongs to him, if I leave, or if I react, if I leave, if I whatever, in whatever situation we're in, it could get to a point where he takes a knife and accidentally kills me or whatever. So I think I was scared for my life in that sense, although he didn't throw across, like I said, direct threats that I'll kill you, I'll do this. He's never done that. But I think the actions, because of the alcohol intake as well, you don't know what a drunk person would do. You feel like your life is at risk somehow, because I remember even changing the locks to the doors of the house because of that, because I was feeling scared. I was like, I don't know what this person's going to do to me, So it does pose some sort of risk.
Do you still believe in marriage and love?
Absolutely. I am going to get married, but we're not in a rush for that. With my partner, of course.
Good.
I don't have one now, but the one I'm going to... the person I'm going to meet, I'm definitely going to get married. I believe in love. I think marriage is beautiful when it's done right.
It is a beautiful institution.
Yeah.
It's a godly institution.
100%. And I've seen beautiful marriages, and that's why I believe that it's still a thing. I will go there, definitely. God willing, of course. But definitely, I do believe in love. I do believe in marriage. Yeah.
Listen, it's possible for God to equip you by bringing you just the right partner. And I was very intentional in my word. Yes, getting the right partner for you is a level of empowerment that God gives to you. Why am I saying this? Because with the right partner, you can flourish, you can accomplish more, and you can become a better version of who you are supposed to be. Partners build us. Marriage builds us. Marriage is not an institution that is supposed to tear us down. And when you start questioning who you are, what you're becoming in that marriage, be it because of infidelity, be it because of verbal abuse or any other form of abuse, my sister, my brother, it may be time for you to reflect and ask yourself, what am I doing here? Take it from me. God is capable of restoring anybody's life. There are second chances out there. Divorce is not God's will. But let me tell you this, God does not hate the divorcees. Contrary to what many people would have us believe, God loves you. He wants you to be intact. He wants you to be safe. He gave you a sound mind. It was never his intention for you to lose sanity simply because of the person that you find yourself yoked up to in an institution of marriage. Let's continue respecting our marriages. Let's appreciate the blessing that the institution brings. And moreover, let us bring glory to the Lord by honoring the institution of marriage that he has created for us. The good Lord bless you. And may those of you who are looking for partners, may you look unto him. He knows exactly who you need, and he has someone prepared exactly for you.
Amen.
You have a good evening. The Lord just keep you together.
Get yourself a copy of our latest books, The Mending of a Broken Vessel and Maintaining Your Joy, a journal for daily positive living. Visit a bookstore near you.